you bring on the rain? Won't you be happy again? When you're smiling, keep on smiling.
I said over easy!
Now why did I do that?
Because I refused to spoon with you last night?
Hey kids, GoinPostal here. This episode we're going to talk about eggs over medium. The biggest game changer for me when it came to cooking eggs over medium turned out to be the pan. As you can see here, this brand, Granite Rock, this thing is amazing. These are available at Walmart and they're available at Amazon. There is another brand called Granite Stone. Haven't tried it. Here you can see the cooking surface. It's a dotted, speckled black and white. It has a really strange feel to it too. I don't know if it's actually a stone coating or not, but it's really hard coating, really, really super slick, especially with a little bit of butter or oil in it. I did see on one review somebody complained that the eggs would stick if the pan was completely dry. Well, let's not get crazy. There's no stick pans and then there's no stick pans. But this thing with a little bit of butter in it is the most non-stick surface that I have ever seen. The eggs will not stick to the point that when you're done cooking them, you can pour them out of the pan. And there will be no stuck-on egg mess to have to grind off after you're done. I absolutely love this brand of pan. As you can see, we use a decent smattering of butter. This video is real time, so you can kind of see how it all goes. I start with a cold pan, actually. Put the stove on medium-high heat and then throw the butter in. And as soon as I get it melted around, I immediately start throwing eggs in. I used to kind of freak out when I just did like 1 or 2 eggs. It seemed like it was just so stressful trying to get them done and out in a decent shape. Of course, here you see the first yolk breaks, because when you're trying to make a video, and show off your skills, the first yolk's just gotta break. That's almost required, right? Now with this new pan, I can do 8 eggs at a time, no problem. You'll see that I just relax about it, get the eggs in, take care of business. I'll stop after I get the eggs in, go wash the egg whites off my fingers and put the eggs back in the fridge and get a plate to put the eggs on when they're done. By then, things are starting to happen. At this point, you can see the eggs are just starting to cook at all. It's pretty much pure egg snot, if you will. And I watch them as they cook, as they start to turn white and the snotty portion turns into little islands around the yolk. And I watch that. And as the whites start getting done and the snot islands start getting smaller in size, that's when I know it's time to start cutting the whites. And what I do is separate each individual egg by cutting the whites around. And I watch how the whites behave. Initially, as I make the cut, the whites off the top will pour into the cut and kind of reseal it. And as I come back around the pan each time, then I cut it again. Eventually it'll stop kind of gluing itself back together. And that's when I know that the eggs are ready to flip. What I need is a spatula that's as non-stick as this pan. You'll see that I have to do this funny little jiggle with my spatula in order to get it under the egg, because the pan is so slick that the egg just keeps sliding away from the spatula. If anybody has any great ideas on a super non-stick spatula, please leave a comment for me so I can buy one. I need it bad. In case you missed that, I had just salted and peppered the eggs. You want to do that about this stage because the salt and pepper will actually toughen the egg just a little bit, and it helps so that when you flip the egg, it helps the yolks not to break. Our goal is to have no runny egg snot left, but have the yolks totally runny. Here comes the spatula action. These are getting ready to separate. Nothing too pretty about it, just cut around them kind of like a slice of pie. Don't spend too much time on any one because they're going to glue themselves back anyway initially. Just once around the pan, you see everything kind of glued itself back together, so you just keep going around, watching how the eggs react each time you come around the pan. And all of a sudden you'll see that the eggs are no longer gluing themselves back together. That's the optimal time to flip them, and you want to get started because you don't want crispy bottoms on your eggs either. At least I don't. I prefer them not to be crispy on the bottom. And if you don't time this out just right, then that's what happens. So look at that jiggle. Got to jiggle to get under these eggs. That pan is just so non-stick, it's crazy. Flip them all over, kind of move as fast as you can, because as fast as you can flip these, it cooks the tops, but doesn't harden the yolks, and these will be ready to eat. Go around the pan, flip them over as quick as you can, and then get it to the plate. And generally, if I'm shooting a video or serving a guest, I'll sit there and bother to flip them back out of the pan and flip them back right side up onto the plate, because that's just how people are used to seeing it. Generally, if it's my own eggs and I'm not shooting a video or serving anybody, I'll just pour them out. You can just flip this pan over and they will literally pour out. It is so non-stick. Can't say enough about this pan. And no, this is not an ad for the pan. They are not supporting me in any way. It's just a pan that I found that is unbelievable, and I wanted to share it with you. Look at those eggs. So good. Now I take a minute and I flip over and immediately scrub my spatula with a brush in the sink, because egg comes off really easy before it dries and really, really hard after it dries. So get it done beforehand. And here's a shot of the pan. I haven't done anything to it. You can see there is absolutely no egg in it. I'd suggest you get yourself one. Thanks for hanging out for another video. I hope it does somebody some good out there. I know when I was learning how to do eggs over medium, I needed something like this. Postal out.